Barry, let me ask you this. I've been brought in to ask the people that, such as yourself, entrepreneurs, you have no objection to that whatsoever, right?
No, I don't.
Good.
Bring it on.
I think entrepreneur is the right word. It's a very hard word to spell, but but I think that this gathering here, and it's a whole pile of stuff. Let's start out by, if you would, give what we have, maybe something that we see with the development of carrying that even further, individually, collectively, all of the adverbs I could probably muster up at once and just find out what, if any, and if not, how much there would be in that. And I'm so glad you didn't say anything right there, because I was not finished. Let me finish that by saying that. I said that. Today.
Today what?
No, I wasn't there.
Is there a question?
Are you? Wait a minute. My Southernese is certainly not that bad. You're talking about I know I think I know what you say. I think you hear what you're saying. What, if any, and if not, how much? Now let me say this, because this is paramount in so many ways. In your own words, what, if any, and if not, how much nowadays?
A lot. What?
I gotta say, but the whole of it, what we have, but then I guess this is the part I think that gets, sticky, is that a lot of people, when I say a lot of people, I mean some, have reported that, what we have, that I guess really may be something that we see even more. Is that true?
Yeah, definitely.
And then all right, yes, definitely. Got to pursue that just one last little time. How? Mr. Know-it-all. No, your generation is good. It's just so good to be, like that. But why?
Why do gamification? Is that what you're asking? Or why? I don't understand the question. Can you rephrase it?
Sure. Why? See, now that's not even a game, and you don't need gamification.
So why get engaged in the gamification?
Yes.
Okay. It's all about engagement.
Oh, it always has been.
Trying to get your users engaged. And if there's one thing that I have kind of taken away from this conference, from the last few conferences I've been in, it's that I find lectures not very engaging. I'm engaged when I interact with somebody in a one-to-one kind of situation.
So if I hear you correctly, you're saying that, my Lord, lady, what we have, and then I guess really adds that to a nurture that, and pardon my Southern accent, but that's exactly what I'm hearing.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me ask both of you, I guess, really, what we have at that particular time and with this conference and all of the gathering that seems to be part of that, because there's so much of what we individual and collective may have in that, I guess, really looking at saying. But having said that, and I felt certain that I did, I wanted to make sure that we look in terms of like where we're headed, and also at what we have, and I guess really in terms of that with the group at large. Yeah, that's what that was it. I know that was a lot, but there's just so little to cover.
Well, I think this conference is so forward-looking. It really speaks to
Absolutely.
the topic that you're bringing up here. They
The
keep
surprises, they always, what we have, but then not too. And Adam?
Yeah, this is my first time coming, and I found it really interesting that I've been talking to a lot of people, trying to see what they're up to, what they're into, between vendors, between the speakers, the folks that have been out here. It's interesting to see folks talking about, for instance, sort of like the cognitive effect of the right type of content, organizing everything from the technical side to the mental, cognitive side to the production and design of content. It all seems to be covered here pretty well.
That was a lot. The other thing, for both of y'all, that was just a whole pile. In a very good way. All right. We're talking with Mark, obviously. Mark, give me some what we have in, I guess, this particular meeting, and over the efforts of those that put this on interested in what we may see that and take back from this all of the things or some of the things included in that, but a lot, what we have individually and as a group, because that's so much of turning that with content.
Thank you. The theme, of course, of the conference is intelligent content, and my particular take on that theme, and this is the theme of the workshop that I did yesterday, was that content is architecture. We talk an awful lot about information architecture, almost as if it was a separate thing from content. My contention is that content, properly constructed, intelligent content, is architecture, and that on the web, every page is page one. That's the title of my book that was published last year. Essentially, people don't navigate the web top down. There is no top. There is no start here page for the web. There is no table of contents for the web. People move around by following links, by doing a Google search, and the place they land is one page, one particular page, and that page for them is page one. And the real architecture of the web is contained in that page for them. It's impossible to draw a map of the web that's in any way intelligible. If you look at, if you would try to draw, say, a map of all of the connections that exist within Wikipedia, it would just look like complete spaghetti. But if you look at any one page in Wikipedia, you find very sensible links from one page to another, and you find that you can follow along from one page to another. So the local navigation between pages is really straightforward and clear.
Wow. I think everybody out there would probably agree with me when I say, what? I mean, no, that was just so much. I mean, that was a lot. It really was. I felt like if you continued, I was probably going to have to finish shaving. But security. All right, as you can see, we're talking with Mike and Mark. Let me ask both of you to, and I guess really has it from a meeting like this and a conference to come up with a listening to what we have, and I guess collectively and individually too, combining that may be something that we see with the belt to carry that even further. Is that be on the forefront of that, what we have so far?
Mark, why don't you take this one?
Yeah, Mark.
I'm actually having trouble understanding you.
And Mike, I'll pick up from there. And Mark, I understand it. It's not me. I'm sorry. It probably is, but it's not you. Is what I'm saying. It might be Mike, but we'll find out. Mike, let's start with you. What differentiates that I guess because when we have I guess differentiate it's such a word.
Yes, thank you. So Astoria software differentiates itself in today's world by actually delivering content that's above and beyond the normal space.
Wow, now that's heavy. Yeah.
So most of the vendors here have functionality that's similar to one another, probably about 85%.
So that would make them a cost match in what we have, and I guess with the other 15, because you put them together and there they are.
Right. But where we differentiate ourselves is embracing what I call the holy trinity of technology, which is SaaS on demand, mobility, and social media.
And up with you and what we have, and then I guess really the combination of that. Mark, chime in.
I'm sorry, I can't understand your accent.
The other thing that I wanted to say is that my background is communication also, and my feeling is that there are so many words, and they all mean different things. So what I gather be lynching and what we have, and I guess really has that to a notion of seeing of the hot. I didn't know if that was part of this year's program or not.
What was it again that you didn't know was part of the program?
See, that's what I'm saying. I have just no idea. So I don't even have anything to go back on. But I do want. Let me ask this third to last question because I'm almost out of tape. When what we have, and I guess really adds that to a notion about how it's hauled. Now, I say that because one, I can, and two, I believe it will be tested in time to prove to be true, or obviously not. Again, I'm so glad you didn't say anything then, because that's, I mean, what is there, what's left? But let me just close out by asking both of you this. It looks like, I don't know, it looks like I'm going to be brought on board as director of communication. Where is a toss-up right now, but I mean, that doesn't matter as long as I, go somewhere. But has that been repeated in what we have in, I guess, here? And again, is that me, or is that, I mean, I'm not, Mark, is that any better? I slowed that down a tad.
This isn't going to work for me. I can't understand you, and I can't respond to your questions if I don't understand you. You talk too fast, and I don't understand the accent you're coming from. I'm not familiar with the Georgia accent, so.
And I've never been to Australia, but wonderful.
What was the question?
That's a good one. That's a good one. But Mike, having heard what Mark said, and Mark, that was good. It was terrible. But do you agree? I guess is really what I'm trying to say. Or do you differentiate? Mm-hmm. And then the other thing I wanted to say, because obviously I think he's on your side too. Is it me?
This is comedy, is it?
Now, have y'all ever seen a program called Candid Camera?
Yes. Or I think we're being punked right now.
Yes, you're right. You brought it up today. Now listen, now that y'all do know who I really am, Mark, let me ask you this. What was running through your head a while ago? What were some of your thoughts, maybe, when I was making no sense?
Well, I thought you might have had a couple of cocktails for lunch. Is that the case here?
What was running through your head? Be honest, because somebody like you, look at that camera. What was running through your head a while ago when I was standing here making no sense whatsoever?
I said I better get down to Scott and tell him that his talent has his head up his.
I mean, when you started to speak double, it did make me think, well, maybe you've just got a speech impediment of some kind, and which would be odd, being an interviewing reporter and having a speech impediment, but
My brain's hurting right now.
So let me out what we have, and then I guess really wind down by asking both of y'all this, and that is, would y'all agree or would you disagree that it looks like the time and listening to what we have throughout the rest of the night?
No.
Yes?
Okay, all right. I told you